Welcome to another episode of the Muffed Sports Show. I'm your host, Hayden Haynes, and join me, as always, is Seth Kellen and Cody Hart.
What
How's it
up?
going,
Yo,
boys?
It's going pretty good besides that Steeler L.
I'm
First L of the season. Hmm.
I'm doing pretty fantastic.
Oh,
Yeah.
why is that, brother? All right, why are you feeling fantastic today?
Oh well, there's a few reasons why I'm feeling pretty good, and that's because Alabama won.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh,
Roll Tide!
Alabama did in fact win. We will touch on that. Obviously, one of the best games everybody's claiming of all time.
Yeah.
And it didn't start out like that, but we're going to dive into how that eventually played out. But did get word. We have a quick guest appearance from a star of the game. I think he's. Oh, hey,
oh,
Who's
he's right behind me. It's
oh,
Mr. Mill Ticket,
Mr.
Mr.
Money
Jalen
Mr.
Milrow.
Milrow.
Ticket?
Mr. Money
Sir,
Millie Rock Milrow.
Mill Ticket.
Right.
So he's
Yes,
got to get out of
sir.
here. See you later, Jalen. Appreciate all the hard work. He's the Heisman
Bye,
front runner.
Jalen.
Just want to let him go do his thing. You know, he's racked up that NIL money, getting that draft stock's rising each and every day. But yeah, so we'll talk to that man eventually when he's on to the next battle. And let's get into what we're talking about. Obviously, this week we have a big week ahead of college football, week 6 and week 5 recap. We will touch on obviously first,
Yep.
and then we're going to dive into the NFL week 5 coming up. And we're about a quarter way through the year, so we're going to touch on obviously what happened last week in week 4. But for both college football and NFL, we're going to do a segment of just contenders and pretenders, and we're going to basically just say, here's some teams. Where do we think so far they lie as far as are they really legit? Are they pretenders or contenders? Are they going to be fake and phony and some pretenders? So we're going to dive into that here in a minute. But first, obviously, let's just run down through the list of all the games for college football that happened last week, the biggest ones. Starting with last Friday, me and Cody were watching this game together through Discord, and it was Miami and Virginia Tech, which was a home game for Miami. It was a good game. Virginia Tech kind of came out punching, and they were up early. Kyron Jones was doing his thing. They turned the ball, or they turned Cam Ward over a little bit. So the defense did their job early on, but eventually they kind of screwed themselves because at one point, Cody, we saw them do a fake field goal in the
Yeah.
red zone, and it really was kind of. To me, the start of the comeback for Miami. I mean, you could have added points there, would have made the lead a little bit larger. Probably at that point would have been a good 2-score game for Miami to come back from. But regardless, Miami and Cam Ward and the rest of the offense just really clicked, and they were humming the rest of the way. So they bounced back. They found the lead. Last drive of the game, Kyron Jones did throw a Hail Mary. Wide receiver goes up about quadruple coverage, just like you always see Hail Marys.
Mhm.
Comes down with the ball for what we thought a minute. It looked like he secured it. He was laying down pretty much on his ass, like in the back of the end zone. Line was right behind him. But for a split second, it looked like he caught it. And then you see the ball pop out. So we're all like, oh my gosh, like, did he catch it? Is the game over? Miami players thought it was over. They call it about 5 seconds later, a touchdown. Obviously, Virginia Tech fans lose their mind. People are storming the field. They're trying to get people off the field because they know that the game's probably not going to be over, or maybe
Yeah.
they just got to have the whole system play out with the replay. So that's what happened, Cody. We watched them about 20 minutes. It felt like looking at the
Yeah.
replay. So long story short, we can talk about this for a while, but we're not because it's just we got a lot to talk about. The dude, they called it a touchdown. So I was telling Cody it's going to be hard for them to overturn this. Well, it looks
Yeah.
like they had enough evidence, I guess, to overturn it, and they called it incomplete. So I guess he didn't have full control, possession, whatever, until the very end. So Miami gets the win. They escape. They're undefeated. Obviously, they don't have a tough schedule the rest of the way, so we expect them to be pretty good and contenders. But we'll touch on that more later. And then Alabama and Georgia, obviously, we'll talk about that. Just get that out the way real quick. We don't want to spend too
Wow.
much time on it, but I mean,
Game of the
The
year.
game.
Game
What
of the
a
game of the
game.
year. We were watching it together with some other friends, and essentially Alabama got out. First drive touchdown. Jalen Miller runs it in, looking good, feeling good. Next drive, after stopping Georgia's offense, they go down another touchdown. Jeremy Bernard, and then you're like, okay, and then they turn over Carson Beck, go down the field again. There's another touchdown. Or actually, I'm sorry. The second drive was a wheel route to Jam
Yeah.
Miller. The third drive, they go down. They did the little wide receiver handoff to Jeremy Bernard. It's 21-0 in like the first quarter. Turnover, Carson Beck again. Go down the field. There's a 4th and 1. Alabama runs a read option with Jam Miller and Jalen. Jam Miller pops the Georgia edge rusher, knocks his helmet clean off. Jalen Milrow goes around the edge, tiptoes, down the sideline, all the way in for a touchdown. It's 28-0 before you could even blink.
And pretty much.
So we saw that domination, and then it was 30-7 after a Carson Beck safety and a Georgia touchdown to end the half. So still 23-point lead for Alabama. They're feeling nice and comfy. I know me and Cody were feeling good about it.
Oh, we were feeling on top of the world, brother.
Yeah, so we were feeling great, and then all of a sudden, some rumblings that this might be a little bit of a 28-3 vibe, and then sure enough, it kind of was. And unfortunately, Alabama blew a 23-point lead. At one point, it was 33-15 in the fourth. They had a couple of calls that didn't go their way. I mean, there was some PIs that weren't called that were pretty blatant. Holding call that backed Alabama up that wasn't, or not holding call. I'm sorry, it was an excessive roughness penalty on like Tyler Booker because he blocked a guy into the ref and the refs got pissed. Some things like that happened. So Alabama didn't convert. They also didn't go, or they didn't get a 4th-down-and-1 with Jim or Justice Haynes, and Jam Miller a couple of times didn't get a yard that they needed. And then Georgia just went down the field because Bam was playing, just pretty conservative defense for whatever reason. Carson Beck flipped a switch a little bit in the second half after a rough first half. And then before you know it, they hit a deep shot to Dillon Bell, and Georgia's up 35-34.
That was insane.
And, I mean, I'm losing my mind. There's 2 minutes, 40 seconds left in the game. I know we got the offense to go down and score, but you just get your heart ripped out like that. You never know how the game's going to end. And then you're thinking,
shifts.
Yeah, you're thinking just get a first down to get it kind of rolling, the 2-minute offense, just boom, boom, boom. Well, Alabama takes a fucking deep shot down the right sideline to Ryan Williams, who everybody knows is a freak show now.
An animal.
And does a circus alien catch, spins, catches the ball, keeps his body control where he's inbounds, instantly spins, and then runs a little bit, hits a juke, spins again, and makes 2 guys run into each other and takes off for a touchdown.
Dude, it was so crispy.
To ice the game, essentially. But even then, they left too much time on the clock. Yep. So Georgia goes down the field. They're getting first downs. About 45 seconds left. They're on like the outside of the red zone, I'd say, and they take a one-on-one shot. They're attacking Alabama's 5-star corner freshman Xavier Brown, who they were attacking a lot that night because they knew they had a mismatch because the guy's inexperienced. And so they took a shot at him, and he read it like a book and picked it off in the end zone, and that was the game. So, I mean,
beautiful coverage by freshman.
I'm leaving out a lot of things, obviously, but it's just that's it, really. I mean, Alabama played a great game in the first half. They dominated. They led off in the second half. There's some calls that didn't go their way. I do think Alabama would have probably blown them out more if that call on the 4th down or the third down where it was a Jeremy Bernard out route kind of. He gets held. They don't call it. I think Alabama would have went down and made it 40-15. That's just me. Probably would have ended up 40-23, 40-30. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but it felt like Alabama was really dominating that game. I know Georgia had a good comeback. I'm not discrediting them, but they got punched in the mouth. Georgia did, and they looked rattled. Carson Beck looked shook. So, I mean, anything out of the ordinary that you want to talk about, Cody, or other than what we just mentioned?
I would say I would say really is I'm impressed with Georgia, to be honest with you. To make that comeback and Bryant Denny to lead the game for 30 seconds, a minute, like they did coming back. I mean, it's tough to come back, especially against this Alabama team. But I just feel like in the second, we were so on a high going into halftime. I feel like we just kind of were too much of a high. Like we weren't as focused coming out of halftime. Yeah. And that's when they really started airing it out. And we should have been expecting that. They're not going to run the ball. They're going to let it rip.
Well, the one thing I will say is that they did technically not air it out at first because they had a drive that took up the entire third quarter. It was a 10-minute drive. I was like, dude, I mean, what are they doing? They need to score. But in a sense, it almost helped them because they got their offense in a rhythm. They kind of just like slowly but surely kept getting fourth. Like, they weren't getting third down conversions all night, but they were getting fourth down conversions. They were four
Yeah.
for four or whatever they were in the whole second half. And basically, it took up 10 minutes in the start of the fourth or third quarter. Alabama's defense was gassed, and then
Yeah.
Alabama's offense was out of sync and rhythm at that point. They haven't had the ball. There's been a halftime and 10 minutes have gone by in game time.
And
That's
you're
like an
pretty much
hour.
cooked. Yeah.
That's an hour. So I mean, you're sitting there like, dude, like your rhythm is off. So then Alabama only gets like, well, I will say Ryan Williams had that crazy bobbling catch down the middle of the
Yeah.
field. They
Dude.
kick a field goal. They could have scored it again. But anyways, to say all that, it was just amazing game. We love seeing football on the highest level like that. And I've
I
been
love
told from
watching Ryan
yeah,
Williams, dude.
he's a beast.
Dude, the first juke like in the first quarter when he
Yeah.
like had his back to the defender
Oh, we were going
and hit him with
crazy.
the oh my,
Well,
and then he turned
hit him with
around
the
and
AI
hit him with that
crossover.
oh my,
I'm
man just
telling you,
got juked
dude.
out his shoes, bruh. And then did it again in the
Yeah.
end to win the game just about.
It was one of the most impressive games I've ever seen from a single player in my
A
life.
17-year-old
Him and
player.
Jalen both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
500 yards almost for Jalen, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
Once again,
dude.
he's had every game this season. He's had 2 rushing tutties and 2 passing tutties.
Yeah, I would definitely say looking back on that game, like what for Georgia and Alabama, what do they need to work on? And I would say for Georgia, it would definitely be taking more shots down the field. Stop being conservative. You got playmakers. Take some shots. I mean, they were. Don't get me wrong. We had really good defense in that first half, and then just kind of let it slip. Like I said, I felt like we just kind of took the foot off the gas a little bit because we were just already up so much. But I would definitely say that for sure. Trying to taking more shots. You got one of the best quarterbacks in college football in Carson Beck. You got to let him, which he
Yeah.
did. He threw for like
They
50
took a
times.
yeah. I mean,
But
he threw a lot of yards in the second half. I will say in the first half they took a shot down the right sideline
yeah,
early in the
it was like
game,
one
but
of the first plays, dude.
they pushed off and it was an offensive PI, so it backed
Yeah,
them up. That's what screwed them up on like the first drive.
yeah,
But yeah, they were trying to take shots. Alabama wasn't having it, and then they picked off Carson Beck because he was seeing ghosts. And then one time it was like a miscommunication. Alabama was sending a zero blitz. That means everybody's blitzing. There's man to man, and then Carson was trying to check into a screen because anytime you get a blitz, you want a quick pass. So
yeah,
he tried to check to a screen, but Arian Smith on the outside didn't see the hot like signal. So he just takes off, and then he throws it to nobody, and it's a pick. So I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff Georgia can work on, obviously, to not do that again. But I do think Alabama was just a better team. They are, to me, the better team. We knew that coming in, Cody. We felt like Alabama was going to be underrated this season, and not trying to be like that. But like, I mean, it is our team. But just looking at it objectively, we thought people were sleeping on Alabama way too hard this season, and we could talk about that a lot. But we do have to keep going. I agree, though. There's some stuff that both teams can work on. I think Georgia knows now, and Bama also can stop being a conservative and they can just put their foot on the pedal the whole game. So
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say for us, I mean, I think our offense is great. But like you said, we need to keep the gas the whole game. 60 minutes,
they
gas,
do
all
need to
gas,
work on the running
no break.
backs. The running backs couldn't run a lot
Yep.
like in the second half. In the first half, it was okay. There's a couple of nice runs, but besides that, I mean, they were held to a limited, yardage, and Jalen Milroe just did everything. So you got to be able to be a running team, and they are, but they're also just not a complete. Like in that game, at least they weren't complete. So we'll see how it goes. But I just want to touch on another crazy game real quick. Wasn't as crazy as this, but Kentucky and Ole Miss in the SEC. Ole Miss was having their homecoming. Kentucky goes in and plays a good defensive game once again after a good performance against Georgia a couple weeks ago, and then they hold Jackson Dart and Ole Miss to 17 points, and they win because Ole Miss missed a field goal wide left at the end of the game. So a huge win for Kentucky and their coach Mark Stoops. I think that is going to be big for them the rest of the way. We know that they lost early in the season to South Carolina, 31-6, and also Georgia barely, but we know they pretty much could have beat Georgia that game. So Kentucky's a real good team right now. I think Ole Miss has got to just really look at themselves in the mirror because I don't know if they are as good as they thought they were. So we'll see how they bounce back.
Their defense could not stop Brock Vandagriff to save their life. Like he was like 18 of 23, like a touchdown or two, and then like some passing yards. I have to look back on it, but he was shredding them.
Yeah, they just they got to be able to play from behind. They haven't done that. So Yeah, and then we'll just keep rolling through these. Oklahoma beats
Mm.
Auburn. Sorry, Seth.
All
Auburn did
right.
throw a pick six to basically screw themselves out of a W once again. And Peyton Thorne was looking better, but until that pick six, obviously. So Auburn is now 2-3. They've had 5 home games to start the season, and they lost 3 of them. And they play Georgia on the road this week, so it doesn't get any easier.
So it's a dub.
Yeah.
Probably kidding.
Auburn, unfortunately, it's going to be a long year. So
Yep.
they have playmakers, but they don't have a quarterback. So it is what it is. We know now. We know we've seen 5 games of Auburn. We know who they are. I mean, just it sucks, you know.
It does. I hate it. I just wish we could figure out what's going on back there in the quarterback field,
They
man.
just, for some reason, they thought they were good at quarterback, but they weren't, man. They should have got one. They should have went and got one.
Y'all ain't never gonna have
We're
a
about to get
quarterback.
Shadur.
Dude, Shadur, I don't even know if Shadur could save y'all at this point.
I don't think he could.
Actually, he really would. He would probably cook. I'm not gonna lie, because y'all do have some good wide receivers. I mean, Keandre Lambert-Smith, he's like top 5 in receiving yards for the SEC. He's a good pickup y'all had from Penn State. Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson are good players as freshmen. I just, Jarquez Hunter. I don't know, man. It's just a tough year for Auburn quarterback.
It is a tough year, man.
We got to keep rolling. So Michigan holds off Minnesota 27-24. Minnesota comes back late, gets a potential onside kick. They got it, but they called offside, which wasn't an offside.
That was crazy, yeah.
Once again, Michigan getting things that they shouldn't and possibly cheating. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, looking a little sketchy.
Very suspect. Very suspect. Not being that guy, but also just calling it how it is. I'm being that guy, man. Y'all are definitely getting the benefit of the doubt sometimes, man.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Michigan, gets a win at home. Texas A&M beats Arkansas in Jerry's World in Dallas. They play that game every year there now. So the rivalry, and 21-17, nice close game. Arkansas is, I believe, 3-2 now, Cody, something like that.
Yeah.
2-2 or 3-2. And Texas A&M has only got that one loss to Notre Dame that started their season. And now this week they play Missouri, big matchup, and Arkansas is a big matchup. Or no, I don't know. I'm not sure if Arkansas does have a big matchup this week, but yeah, they do. Tennessee. That's what I was going to say. Arkansas, Tennessee play. So that's a good game.
That's a good game.
I'm excited for that. SEC games this week are decent, but because we'll touch on that in a minute. But Bama, Georgia don't have really tough matchups, but the other teams I would say do. Texas really doesn't, but there's some good games out there. So Penn State holds off Illinois. Illinois got a good defense. They held Penn State to only 21. Penn State held them to only 7, so that's a good old school game. Notre Dame beats Louisville 31-24, which kind of was a boring game, but they did what they were supposed to do at home, I guess. Kind of crazy that Louisville covered that 7.5 spread.
That's crazy, dude.
Just barely.
Weren't they down? They were down like a good bit and made a comeback.
They were down by 2 tutties and scored and made it interesting. But and then here we go. Arizona gets an upset over Utah, but I don't even know if you can call it an upset because once again, Cam Rising does not play for Utah. And it's like, what's going on, man? Because Cam has just been having too many injuries.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of people saying like, what's wrong with him? Like he looks fine on the sidelines. He's just not playing.
I think it's a finger thing now. I don't know.
I remember watching the game and he was just like chilling, walking around, like he didn't
laughing,
have
having a good time,
or like anything on. Like
I don't want to question the guy because like he did win 2 Pac-12 championships. He's been around for a minute. It's just a little like now it's just like, man, like he's just old and like he's just getting hurt. Like is this it? So it sucks because we all thought Utah was going to make it to the playoffs.
I mean, he's what? He's how old is he? 26?
He's probably 25, 26.
25. Yeah. I mean, dude, you're almost 10 years older than Ryan Williams.
I mean, exactly.
Like that's just insane.
And you got that tight end from Miami, Cody, that's played like his 9th season this year.
Yeah, dude. And he's been doing good.
Well, yeah, he's about to be 30.
He's just eating.
I mean, he should be good. There's
He
like
should be. I mean, that man should be in the
18-year-olds covering
NFL
him.
at this
No,
point.
but he's had like so many injuries. Like it's
Yeah,
insane.
I mean, it's
I feel
crazy,
bad for
man.
this man. At least he's eating right now on a really good
On
offense.
his last season.
Future bag, sir. Kansas State blows out Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's season is pretty much cooked. Ollie Gordon has done nothing this year.
Not
What the
anything.
hell?
We were
Nothing.
so high on that guy.
I mean, dude was like a cheat code in NCAA 25.
yeah, literally, dude.
So I don't know what to tell you, man. But yeah, moving on. Let's get to week 6. We got some matchups to preview starting. Oh, actually, let's see here. What is college game day? Oh, aren't they going to isn't it Cal and Miami for some reason? Or am I wrong about that? Is that college game day? I believe it is. It's like they're trying to switch it up and do something different. But that game is on the
It
west.
is in Cal because they've never been to Cal for a game day.
Right. So they're going to Cal and Miami. You know, Cal beat Auburn on the road. Miami's undefeated. So I mean, maybe there's
Didn't they beat Florida State too?
They did beat Florida State.
Yeah.
But everybody's beating Florida State. So,
Yeah.
I mean. But Cal and Miami at home
if,
should be a big matchup for Cal.
Yeah, I was about to say if Cal can pull off the Miami upset, that'd be crazy.
Hey now.
I mean, low key. I mean, I don't think they will, but they could.
They could.
Anything can happen on a Saturday.
I don't know. I don't know anything about their defense, but I mean, Cam Ward and the boys are coming to town, so I know they'll be fired up. But that's at 10:30 Eastern time. So
that's that's tough for Miami. Like
it is tough. They're going so far. It's a conference
literally
game
across
now.
the country.
Dude,
literally from one side to the other.
Yeah, and they joined the conference this year, so it's like this is their first time doing that because I mean, Cal and Stanford are in the ACC, so like there's California teams in the Atlantic Coastal Conference this year.
That's insane.
So, anyways, let's get kicked off with the early games, which will be a battle of two SEC teams in Missouri and A&M, who joined the conference, you know, over 10 years ago now, Cody.
Yeah,
and they've established themselves as pretty good football teams, I'd say, in the SEC, and definitely this year are good. Missouri is number 9 in the country. A&M is number 25. They lost that one game to Notre Dame, but they did switch to their quarterbacks, and I feel like it's been okay. You know, it's not been bad, so they've got more out of that, and they still got some good roster. Like they have a good 5-star lineup of just talent all over the place. They've recruited well, so A&M's got some bodies. Missouri could definitely lose that game. This could be the game Missouri could lose before Alabama. So. You know, I don't know if they are going to lose because I think Luther Burden and the rest of the guys are going to be a tough out. But what do you think about this one? Do you have an upset watch right here for Missouri?
Yeah, I would say so for sure. Yeah, I mean, just because, I mean, this Texas A&M team has kind of hit a new stride. That was a close game they had with Arkansas, but it was on a neutral site. Like they always play each other really competitively.
Yeah,
but I just haven't seen enough from Missouri's defense, to be honest with you. Like, we know Texas A&M's got, like, a really stellar defense. Like, their defense is good. But I just haven't seen what I'd like to see from this Missouri team, to be honest with you. It looks like it looks like they've kind of lost a step from last year, you know?
Yeah.
To me. Like, they're still able to score and stuff. Like, they've won their games, but it's been a little closer than it was last year.
Yeah, I mean, they just won the double OT with Vanderbilt.
Like,
it's tough. That's tough. I mean, maybe Vanderbilt's gotten better. I don't know. We're about to, you know.
Didn't know this was a baseball game.
Oh, man. So that's on ABC at 12 Eastern. That's an early kickoff. So I think Missouri is on upset watch. I really do. So big game there in the SEC. I'm going to go, oh, man. I'm going to go with Missouri because I do think Missouri has enough to get it done, and they will find a way with Luther Burden to get a late score, put them over the top. And I think they're just determined because they know, like, the SEC is so loaded. Like, they want to get to the Alabama game undefeated. They want to have a shot.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
I'm going Texas.
Texas A&M?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
See if they prove their worth here.
I'm going with
Anybody know the spread of that? Because I don't have that in front of me right now.
I'll check.
I think I'll go with – this one's tough, really, but I think I'm going to go with Missouri. I just think, like you said, Brady Cook and Luther Burden, you're going to have to find that connection and just lean on it.
Just lean on it. I know they're going to try to take it away, but you got to run the ball too, you know.
Got to.
Spreads Texas A&M minus 2.5.
Whoa!
Wait a
That's
minute.
kind of crazy. Hey, man, I'm telling you. I mean, Miami almost getting beaten by Virginia Tech. I
I
mean,
mean, A&M
I
is not
can't
bad.
say
They're at
much
home.
about like Alabama yet. Really, I feel like they haven't really had too many close games with like
Yeah.
non-contender teams, really. But like, I mean, Georgia almost losing to Kentucky, Ole Miss losing to Kentucky. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
these higher ranked teams have been kind of
Dropping like flies.
dropping like flies or struggling with teams that shouldn't even they should be struggling with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could definitely see them losing this game, but I'm going to go Missouri because of the Luther Burden connection. Also, because it's an early kickoff. It's 11 local time for them, and I
Wait,
feel like that could be rough for A&M. Just waking up
Texas
and trying to play a
A&M
big game.
minus 130 to win.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I love that. I
Oh,
don't know.
they're favored to win.
Yeah, I know, but like, I don't know.
Give
I
me
don't know.
Missouri.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, I
That's
mean
just crazy.
they are ranked and they're at home, and their home environment is pretty electric. But it's not a night game. I just think since it's an early kickoff, they're not going to have that juice.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Um,
give me Mizzou.
I
yeah,
like
I'm just going to
yeah,
go
they
Missouri.
know something doing that.
I mean, they do. They must know something. Maybe I'm just looking at it wrong, but I'm just going to go Missouri as an underdog. I mean,
That's fair.
it's
I mean, I
interesting.
guess that's just crazy to say.
I mean, Arkansas almost beat A&M last week, and Arkansas is a good team, but they're not as good, I think, as Missouri. So we'll see, though. We'll see.
We will see.
Moving on. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of these games are not even worth mentioning.
Yeah.
We're just gonna skip over some of these, but we're gonna just say them in the move. Oregon and Michigan State. Oregon's at home. Michigan State just got beat by Ohio State by a lot.
Yeah, I'm
Oregon
going
number
Oregon.
6 right now. Oregon should get the dub. I don't really, know what else to say other than we need to see them keep playing better defense and scoring points with Dylan Gabriel and Evan Stewart and who's the other wide receiver? I'm forgetting. Troy Franklin's in the NFL. Evan Stewart and the
They
other
got
guy
somebody else
out
who's
there. I'm slipping up right now, but they should be able to get
isn't
it
it a
done.
Bama boy? Is
I
it
don't.
Trayshawn?
Well, they do have Trayshawn Holden, but he doesn't. I'm talking about like their other guy that's like really good.
Oh.
I'm forgetting his name right now. Anyways, UNLV is number 25. They actually have been in the headlines as of last week because their quarterback decided
Yeah.
to redshirt. He's a starting quarterback. He decided to redshirt because and he's going to transfer because he did not get his guaranteed NIL money that they told him that he was going to get. So he left. They are undefeated. They're number 25, and they are playing their backup quarterback now. So
That's insane.
Wait, he kind of balled last week though too.
yeah,
Go look at
I
his
know.
numbers, and he went off.
Yeah, so in UNLV versus Syracuse, and Syracuse has Kyle McCord, who transferred from Ohio State at quarterback. So I think it should be a fun game. And I don't really know enough about this new quarterback. I know he looked good last week, but I don't know. I might go Syracuse because I
I
trust
think,
Kyle McCord a little bit more.
yeah, I do trust Kyle McCord. He's looked good this year.
Yeah.
But
Also, talk about
who do they
another part of the country is Syracuse is in New York, and UNLV is obviously Nevada. That's crazy.
They lost to Syracuse lost to Stanford.
Oh,
They didn't
Mm.
have to switch.
maybe. What's the line on that game? What's the line on UNLV Syracuse?
I'm finna switch my pick. Give me UNLV.
UNLV Syracuse.
Are they favored? Is UNLV favored?
Yeah.
Because if they are, I'm curious to see by how much. Can't be that much.
They're
They gotta be.
favored. The spread's minus 6.5 to UNLV.
Give me Syracuse. I don't like that number. I
Give
think.
I
me
don't like that number.
give me top 25 UNLV.
Give me
Uh-oh.
Syracuse to pull off a little upset. Iowa's defense, is pretty good. They're traveling to Ohio State. Ohio State should handle that one, but maybe
Handle
it's a
that
test for
business.
Ohio State. We'll see. Ohio State does have a good, young star wide receiver, Jeremiah Smith, who's a
He's a
beast. He's a
beast.
freak. Judkins is good. I mean, they got weapons. They got defense. They got it all. So Ohio State's going to roll. They haven't
We're
played anybody
walking in
good
there.
yet, but
This is
we'll
their
see.
best. This is the best test they've gotten so far.
Let's see how they perform against the stout Iowa defense.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Auburn,
dubbing.
Auburn to Georgia this week. Georgia's going to be ready for that get
I
right
mean, hey
game.
man,
So
you know what I think's gonna happen.
I don't think Auburn will score.
All
Auburn's
right.
going to score about one touchdown.
I mean, that's not
Nah.
an awful
I got
bet
my
to
score
have.
prediction is like
42-7.
No. I'm talking
No?
about like 52-3.
All right.
All right, Cody.
I think it's
Cool,
about to be
man.
I think Georgia is
It's
so
gonna be
mad.
bad. It's
They're
gonna be
finna take
bad.
all their anger out on Auburn. And I
And
like
they
it.
ain't getting nowhere.
I like it.
Give me
Go take
35-28 Auburn.
Go take your anger out on that cow college.
All right. So that's gonna be a blowout. Moving.
Oh, no way. Yep, moving on here.
Let's see.
Clemson, Florida State. I mean,
Clemson. Clemson's gonna.
Clemson's going in there and handling business.
The only thing I mean, they've lost. Florida State's. They've lost games at home. Clemson's gonna win, and I think they're gonna. What's the spread?
The spread. What is
Wait,
it?
y'all hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
My AirPods are really messed up. I don't know what the spread is for
The
that.
spready.
I mean, regardless of what the spread is, I think Clemson wins and covers whatever the spread is.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
think so,
Clemson's
too.
offense has been, 66 points, 59 points, 40 points? Like, come on.
Yeah.
They're figuring it out with Kyle or Cade Klubnik. He's been able to run the ball really well, Cody.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I don't even think it's a bet. You can't even bet on that game.
Well, it's
Unless
because
I'm crazy.
you can't bet on it right now because they don't know if DJ Uyagale is playing.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
I mean, that don't make a difference.
And no, it doesn't. But they're trying to decide. They're trying to decide if they want to do Clemson minus 30 or Clemson minus 40. They don't know.
Do we actually think he's hurt? Or
I
we
don't think so.
I
I think
so
Buddy's
either.
Buddy's hanging it up.
Yeah, Buddy's hanging it up. They know.
It's over. It's
They know.
over.
I mean, hey man, he just needs to go to some frat parties. I've seen plenty of women when dudes are asking women questions about DJ Ugalagwe. They they saying they would get in there, and I'm like, all right, they don't know nothing about football, obviously.
They don't. I tell those ladies they don't know ball. That's what
They don't know ball. You don't want to get in that.
Yeah.
You don't want to get in a loser.
Hey, he's not going to the NFL. He's not even going to the CFL.
He ain't even going to the XFL.
And hey, I just want to say right now, I know this isn't like a popular, like it wasn't like a crazy take, but I was on team FSU sucks before the season started, and he was not good. And they're terrible. So, anyways, moving on. Tennessee and Arkansas, good game right here on the road for Tennessee at night. To me, this is Tennessee's first good game because the Oklahoma game, yeah, you could argue it was a big matchup, but we saw Oklahoma's quarterback Jackson Arnold shit the bed, and that's not a good test for them. So now got a young quarterback in Taylor Green, who's
I like Taylor Green, dude.
Dude, give me a sneaky close game here. Tennessee pulls it out, but it's going to be like pretty high. Or I don't know if high scoring is the right way to go about it, but pretty competitive, back and forth game. And I feel like Taylor Green can do enough to keep them around.
Give me like a 34-20-24 type game.
Yeah, I like that.
Tennessee kind of pulls late, gets a late touchdown.
What's the spread in that? Because that's got to be interesting.
Oh yeah.
What is it?
Tennessee, Arkansas. It's on Tennessee at Arkansas.
Tennessee, yeah.
Tennessee at Arkansas.
That being a night game and Arkansas is crazy. That crowd's gonna be going dummy.
They really could win that game.
They could. This is a sneaky game for and they got
because to me, I know Tennessee's pretty good right now, but honestly, I don't think they've played anybody. I don't think they've played anybody good. North Carolina State's terrible. Oklahoma's not that good. This is a road game that really could be interesting. I know Arkansas's not world beaters, but
spread's minus 13.5 for Tennessee.
Okay, that's not that much for them.
That's not much.
You can bet on Arkansas to win for plus 400.
Okay,
hey,
interesting. Arkansas did look solid last week. I know they lost, but they did look solid. Anyways, that's an interesting game. Michigan at Washington next. That's a battle rematch of the Natty. So, I mean, that's a storyline, I'd say, at night.
Yeah. Washington. Oh, no. Night game in Washington, that's a scary game for Michigan right there.
Scary game. I don't really know where to lean. I feel like this has got to be a low-scoring game. I
got honestly, I'm calling
I'm going to just go Michigan, but it's going to be ugly.
Oh, it's going to be ugly. And I want to say Washington, but I don't
They don't really have those dogs right now.
Nah, I like their quarterback, Will Rogers. Like, I think he's a good quarterback.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback.
But I just think defensively and maybe offensively, defensively, Michigan's better, but offensively, it's kind of close. So I think it's going to be an ugly game, low scoring.
Yeah.
If you could guess the spread, what do you think it'd be?
Michigan minus 4.5 or something.
Michigan plus 2.5.
Wow.
So they have Washington favored.
Washington minus 2.5. Washington to win minus 135.
Wow. It's because they're Michigan's offense, no offense, can't do nothing.
I mean, yeah.
They just run the ball. They just run.
I guess, you know what, honestly, if Will Rogers gets hot, but the thing is, Michigan does have a good defense. So, like, I don't know, man. On the road, running the ball is important. We talked about that, and they can do that. And Alex Orji can run. So I'm going to go Michigan, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, I got Michigan. I just think it's going to be close.
Now, battle in Florida coming up is Central Florida and Florida at Florida. I mean, from what I've seen, both these teams have looked I mean, UCF got blown out last week by Colorado at home.
Was not expecting that.
No, Florida's looking rough. This game, I couldn't even tell you.
I couldn't tell you. I'm just gonna throw a toss up. Give me Florida.
Dude, I was about to say the same thing. Give me Central Florida just because this game is like one of those where like all the players on Central Florida probably are salty because they didn't get to go to Florida or they didn't get to go to Florida State. So they're gonna be a little bit more pissed off. And Florida sucks. So I'm gonna
UCF spreads -3. UCF.
I'm taking UCF.
I did see today that Florida for the rest of the year is running a 2-quarterback system though.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna keep rotating Graham Mertz and DJ Lagway.
Well, I don't know, man. I just don't trust Florida right now. I think they're so far gone. That's a night game though. Maybe it's a good time for them and their fans. I just don't. I can't pick them again. I've gotten burned by them. So,
like I said, like this game's a toss up. Like I like both these teams are.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's get into the pretender contender segment right here. So once again, we're gonna pick. There's just a couple of teams here that I have on a list that I feel like are teams that maybe have lost the game or maybe are undefeated but haven't played a hard schedule, and we're gonna go through and say, are they pretenders or are they contenders? Okay, so how this is gonna work in order because we're gonna post this on social media and to officially move them to one side or the other. It's obviously 3 of us, so the majority will push them over. So if me and Cody say this team is a contender and Seth says they're a pretender, well, guess what? Sorry, Seth, they're a contender. So, like, that's how it's going to go. Like, it's going to be 2 out of 3 gets them into that category. All right. So, first up on the board, we have Tennessee. They're undefeated. We just talked about them. Got a big matchup coming up. They've just, haven't really played a tough schedule. So, do we think Tennessee are they pretenders or contenders, Cody?
I think they're contenders, honestly. I really do. I think let me look at their schedule, but if I'm correct, I mean,
from what we know now, like from right now, from the games that they played right now,
they're pretty good.
I'd say they're contenders.
Yeah,
I would say they're contenders as well.
They definitely got a favorable schedule. Like, I think they're contenders. Like, their offense has looked really good. Defense is good. Like, they're definitely contenders.
Yeah. All right, so we moved Tennessee in the contender category, and then moving on, we have Miami. They just had a tough game, obviously, last Friday against Virginia Tech. Now, this is the thing. We're looking ahead a little bit into the schedule. They don't play anybody really that good. Now, just based off of that and based off of Cam Ward being in a Heisman conversation, they got a good running back. They got Restrepo, wide receiver. I know their defense is a little suspect. I know Cristobal is a good coach, but he struggled at times with his management skills in the game. But however, because they have such an easy schedule and they have such an elite offense, I'm going to say they're contenders.
Yeah, that game really kind of shook me. I thought they were gonna.
I'm thinking that, like, just to give you a little bit of just like thought where I'm thinking contenders are like guys that are in the playoffs and they're contending for a natty, and technically they don't really there's not a lot of games for them to lose. Like the Clemson game in the ACC championship, sure they could lose that, but they're still gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, that game, that Virginia Tech game, kind of it was like, whoa, because we saw, even though Vanderbilt looks like a totally new team, but I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go contenders, but I need to see a lot more from their defense. If they don't improve that defense, it's hard.
Yeah,
They could drop a game.
They could.
I know they're going. I know they're put in the contender category, but I'm gonna go pretender.
Okay.
Yeah.
Low key. And this next game is gonna tell me a lot because Cal's beat. I mean, Auburn's not good really, but
But it's a long travel, you
it's a
know.
long
Yeah, Cal
travel.
came all the way to
Florida
Auburn, I'm
State
pretty sure,
lost
didn't
too.
he?
Not saying Florida State's good either, but I mean, hey, this next game is gonna show a lot.
Yeah, yeah. So Georgia's next. Obviously, I think we all know they're probably
Contender.
contenders,
Yeah.
but we
100%.
just wanted to put them in there because they just lost. So, has anything changed with you, Cody?
No.
No.
Contender.
Yeah, they're contenders.
They got too many guys that are good, man. I just don't know how we can say they're not.
It's Georgia.
Oh yeah.
Now here's the thing, though. They could easily lose another game to Texas.
Yeah.
But they still are going to make Georgia's still making the playoffs.
No, Georgia's made their two. I mean, we saw it this past weekend versus Bama. Like we just saw honestly like a national championship game. Like it was a playoff game type beat. Like both teams wanted it. Both teams looked good. Obviously, Alabama looked a little bit better. Took the foot off the gas. Georgia came out looked like a deer in the headlights. Then second half flipped a switch. I think both these teams. Especially, I think Georgia's easily a national championship winner. Like,
yeah, they could do it.
Good.
I still think Georgia loses to Texas and goes 10-2. We predicted that in our little preseason stuff, but I do think they're a contender because they'll make the playoffs and they'll have a good team. So now they don't have Brock Bowers and Lad McConkey. I do think that hurts Carson Beck a lot because I said on the pod to Brett, I don't believe in Carson Beck like that. And guess what he did? He had 4 turnovers. So I mean, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I literally don't believe in him. Like the NFL scouts are now being like, okay, we were probably wrong about saying he was number 1. Like,
no, I mean, if you look back on last year, he had those strong relationships with Ladd and Brock and stuff like that. You don't feel that this year. He doesn't have like a strong I need to get it to that guy. Like if no one's open, I just need to get it to him. Like,
they don't have those guys that are like a Ryan Williams or Jalen Milroe or they're just like it's Dylan Bell, it's Arian Smith, it's Etienne, and it's like Oscar Delp, the tight end, hasn't done anything. You know, like I don't, and Dominic Lovett's okay. It's just like they have some guys that are good players. It's just there's nobody that's like taking the top off. So until then, it's going to be hard to see them go like undefeated the rest of the way. I do think Texas is better. But they're still contenders for now. Ohio State, obviously, they're contenders.
Yeah,
they're
100%.
Just want to throw them in there because they haven't played anybody yet.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think they're winning. Honestly, they've looked the best, even though they haven't played anybody. I got them winning the Big Ten. I think. They're definitely contenders. They can win the whole dang thing.
Their roster is crazy. So
they can win the whole dang thing, just like Alabama, Georgia, Texas.
Yeah. Now, this team right here, they will have to play this season. It's Penn State. And I'm going to say right now, they're interesting. They got a good defense. Drew Aller's looked a little bit better. I still think they're pretenders.
Really?
I still think they're pretenders.
Why? Give me a reason.
I think that it's one of those things like I have to see it,
You just got to see it. I understand.
And I still think their schedule, like, it's just going to be one of those things like they're going to lose to Ohio State and they're going to somehow lose to some team they shouldn't lose to. Like
that Illinois game we were watching, that made you think.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely solid. I'm not saying they're bad. They're just a 10-2 team. And I don't really see them contending in the playoffs like that. I feel like they haven't been in that situation in so long that, I can't trust them. How do I trust them?
Trust them.
I mean, I would agree. I've been pretty high on this Penn State team. I think they're better than the previous year's Penn State team.
Yeah.
I like Penn State. It's just like you. I got to see more until I'm like confident enough to be like, yeah, they're a bona fide playoff team. Like they're gonna make it. But I'm gonna be with you. I think they're gonna be a pretender. Like I need that Illinois game. If you would ask me last week, I probably would have said they're contenders. But that Illinois game was closer than I expected. Even though Illinois is a really good football team, like they kept it very competitive.
Yeah.
And it looked like they were going to pull it out there for a little bit. But I'm going to go with Pretenders, but I just need to see more. I'm with you, Hayden.
All right. Seth, what are you thinking here?
I like the Pretenders. I mean, it's like we were just saying. That game against Illinois makes you think a little bit.
Yeah.
How'd you thinking? Say, hey.
Hey, say, hey now. Are y'all boys really good?
Another team that we're thinking might be on that same wavelength is Ole Miss. Now, they're one of those teams that were highly ranked. Now, they lost at home to a team they shouldn't have lost to. But I think maybe that just shows actually that Kentucky's a good team, and Ole Miss is
I was
not.
about to say, is it not so much the teams, but is it Kentucky?
It's like Kentucky lost 31-6, and then after that said, we're actually good. Never mind.
We're actually good. Yeah, we were just joshing.
We're just kidding.
They said I was just a little muffed that first game. I've been sober ever since.
I like it. I'm gonna say Ole Miss is a pretender though.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
I think their offense is still good.
Trey Harris is elite. Trey Harris has 800 yards in the first 4 games for a wide receiver. I mean, that's crazy.
That is unreal.
He's up there.
Imagine that in fantasy. Oh, I'd be lit.
Ooh, I'd be hitting the little bug.
The little bug.
Ooh. No, but
good. He's good, man.
Ole Miss, man. Like, I think we were all high on them coming into this season, obviously. I'm gonna go with Pretenders, man. I had a feeling this defense wasn't what it was gonna be, and I mean, Kentucky just proved me right. So thank you, Kentucky. Even though I love Lane Kiffin, I think I have so much respect for Lane Kiffin. I just think they need to figure it out, man. They really do. Now, I think could they prove us wrong? Obviously, they could prove us wrong.
Yeah.
But as of right now, from these first couple weeks, I think they're pretenders and they need to improve in aspects. Like they need to improve in their secondary and they need to stop. They need to really start forcing the ball down the field and scoring. It just looked like they just couldn't move the ball unless they was going to who you said Trey Harris.
Yep. So they got to be able to play from behind, and they got to have just overall better defense. So I don't think they're a legit contender.
No.
Seth, is that what you had to say?
Yep.
All right. So them and Penn State pretenders, and then another team here is you probably didn't think they'd make the list is Colorado.
That's crazy.
Throwing them in there because they've looked really good the last 3 weeks. They've blown teams out, and they've definitely turned around since that Nebraska loss. Now, Travis Hunter might win the Heisman.
I would love that.
He's really freaking good right now.
Yeah. I could see his sleeper Heisman pick. Ryan Williams.
Yeah.
That would be awesome, dude.
Low key.
Dude, but the thing is, like, right now, if you go look at Travis Hunter's stats, he has like eight or nine touchdowns, 800 yards, 40 catches, and he has 3 picks.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to beat that, dude.
How do you say he's not the Heisman?
Yeah, man's looking like prime Charles Woodson out there.
Prime Dion, like I don't
prime Dion.
Charles Woodson. I saw this today. When he won the Heisman, he played a little bit. He played cornerback stuff, and he played a little bit on offense, some wide receiver. The year he won the Heisman, he had 12 catches. Travis Hunter gets that in a game.
What?
Yeah. The reason he won it is because he was so locked down, but he would punt return, kick return.
Yeah,
like he was all around.
Dude,
he could do it all.
Everything.
He did everything. Yeah. Shout out to Charles Woodson, but he's not Travis Hunter. Sorry.
Charles Woodson, Hall of Famer, goated.
Right, but I'm sorry, Travis Hunter will be on that same level, if not better, because he's doing things. He's doing things that are unprecedented.
It's insane. He's the best player.
You don't see a guy play 140 snaps, put up Heisman numbers on offense and defense.
No.
So, anyways, pretenders though, Colorado.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Not enough defense. Not enough defense. They haven't played anybody that great, and their O line's not that great.
Yeah, O line's not good. Defense has to step up. Besides Travis Hunter, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they can score with anybody. I would assume.
But the O-lines, if they run into a defense like Alabama or Georgia, they ain't scoring that much.
Cooked.
Oh, no. I still think they'll be able to score. Don't get me wrong. They're just not – they're going to get shut down another
if they won the Big 12, hypothetically, and they play a game against whoever, even Clemson. Like I just don't think they're going to be able to put up that much.
No, if they play a solidified defense like a Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia,
Clemson,
Texas, Clemson,
yeah,
something like that, they're getting destroyed.
Ohio State, yeah,
Ohio State.
Oh my God, yeah.
Now, fun game. If they got a matchup like Oregon in the playoff, now hey,
That
could be an upset. Just throwing that out there right now. Just envision in your head. Colorado wins the Pac-12. You know they're 10-2, they're 11-1, whatever, and then they go and they play Oregon in the first round.
Pure cinema.
Pure cinema. Pure cinema right there.
Dude, I love it.
Now Clemson's the last one on the list. Do we think Clemson are they pretenders or contenders? They look a lot better.
I think they're contenders, man.
I do too, because now, guess what they did? They said, we're going to lean on Klubnik's legs, and that's opened up the offense more than ever, and they look like a whole new team. They're putting up 50 points a game.
I would like to see this team now go back versus Georgia and see what happens.
And also not in a neutral site that's in Georgia's backyard.
Yeah. Give me the Cotton Bowl or something like that,
or in Miami. Go play Miami or something.
Come on. Think that game would have been a little bit different if this
was because it was close.
It was.
I think I had Clemson a long time ago in the summer as the ACC champs. I switched it to Miami because I thought I was like Miami's offense is better, but I could see Clemson winning it.
Clemson's on the come up.
They are.
They are, dude. They looked a lot better.
They did. We got to roll. We got to keep rolling. Yeah. So we're going to fly through the NFL. NFL, Falcons get a game winner from Younghoe Koo to beat the Saints 26-24.
Crazy game.
Huge W. Vikings hold off Packers come back. Vikings were up like Alabama was on Georgia. And then Packers came back, made it interesting, but not enough. 31-29 Vikings get the win. They're undefeated. Sam Darnold for MVP?
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
Imagine putting that bet in.
You would have been going crazy right now. Bucks blow out the Eagles at home, 33-19. Eagles are putting Sirianni on the hot seat, and Jalen Hurts is looking rough. But they didn't have Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, so there's the context.
Where's AJ?
He's coming back soon, but it's been rough.
It's gonna be too late for me.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Colts beat the Steelers 27-24.
Yeah.
Some questionable calls in that game.
Questionable calls, and when I saw Joe Flacco come in the game, I knew we were cooked.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows.
The flag can attack.
Of course, Big Ben was there too, and they dapped up before the game. And then even Big Ben on his podcast said, when I saw Joe Flacco go in, he said my stomach dropped.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. I mean, I knew too.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, the one game this motherfucker comes in a minute is against the Steelers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who would have thought?
Wow. Who would have thought?
Scripted.
Yeah, and then when all the money was on the Steelers too, I knew we were gonna lose.
We said it last week on the pod.
We did. And how many holding calls did the Colts have?
Like 5 probably, but
zero.
Really zero.
Zero. Go watch the tape.
Yeah. So that sucks. Steelers dropped their first game, but Fields had his best game of arguably his career.
He did. That was a baller.
Pretty good game. Chiefs beat the Chargers 17-10, but Rashee Rice might be out for the year with a knee injury. Yeah. Shout out Mahomes.
Xavier Worthy to the moon.
Yeah, Travis Kelce hopefully too, man. He had a better game. He had 7 for 89. I think.
That's not bad. He's coming back.
Yeah, he got me 15 points. I think he will get better. I think it's just he's one of those guys like he's gonna get the ball.
Yeah, he is.
He has to now. So that's interesting. But the Chiefs are gonna have to make a move probably to get somebody because they lost. Think about it. They've lost their best offensive pieces. They lost Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, and Pacheco.
Dude,
that's crazy.
And they're still undefeated. But I mean,
who's next?
Ooh, Mahomes. Who?
Travis.
No. Don't do that.
Oh, man.
No. Ravens though, however, Sunday night
were looking amazing.
Blew out.
Amazing, dude.
Derrick Henry first play took it 85, 87.
Oh my God, I was pissed.
I mean, he was going crazy. He almost had 200 yards again, 2 touchdowns. Like that's just a beast right there.
Looking like prime Derrick, man.
That guy's a Hall of Famer, man.
100%.
He's been a Hall of Famer.
People were acting like it's crazy to draft Derrick Henry in fantasy. I'm like, do we like, and I know I'm not trying to be like this, but like sometimes you just got to look at guys like him and be like, he's an exception. He's just different.
Yeah. No,
I mean,
he
I
is.
could say I
He
was
is.
definitely one of those guys.
I know, and
In
I'm
the
not trying to be
beginning.
like that, but like sometimes
Nah, I
you
mean,
got it. Like you got to take out old.
I'll eat
Even
those words.
even Aaron Jones, who's old, playing really good.
Playing
Like
amazing.
Alvin Kamara, older back.
It's those different teams, man.
Sometimes you just need a new start.
Yeah, dude.
That's
and
it.
it's like, oh man, I just completely blanked. Whoops.
Well, it's all right.
And I also because I didn't like Derek because it was on the Ravens too.
Yeah, that's true. You don't want to see him go crazy,
didn't
but
wanna
it's like
see him
Lamar and Derek.
Yeah,
That's
it's just
unstoppable.
insane duo.
How are you going to stop that? And Pat Ricard, their fullback, is a beast. So
He's an animal, and I'm pissed.
So they got a huge dub. The Lions also beat the Seahawks on Monday night. Jared Goff played perfect, 18 of 18,
dude.
multiple touchdowns, and he even called a touchdown from Amon-Ra.
Almost
looking
300
crazy.
yards. Yeah,
Looking crazy, man. I mean, that's just sick.
unreal,
That's
dude.
just unbelievable right there.
Unbelievable.
So moving on to the Week 5 preview, we're going to go through just a few of the better games. Starting tomorrow, my Falcons play Thursday night, primetime once again, third time in 4 weeks. We play the Bucks, our rival, at home. Who do you guys got?
I can see y'all winning, dude.
Y'all got the Dirty Birds?
I got the Dirty Birds.
I didn't say nothing.
We know you, man. We know you just.
You know you're going Tampa.
You're going to hate on us.
Let's go Falcons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even want to pick this game. I just feel like I feel like the Falcons has got to be better on offense, man. They got to be better. They had 2 touchdowns last week, but it was special teams and a defensive tutty. So that Younghoe Koo's the MVP right now. I mean,
MVP, man.
He had 4 field goals, 2 50-yarders, 58-yard winner. I mean, hey, great guy.
Can't beat it.
Tyler Algier is looking like a dog again. It's scary. And Bijan's just been banged up, so I think they were using Tyler Algier more, but they said Bijan's ready to go tomorrow. So I think you see tomorrow Bijan have a little bounce back game.
I hope so, dude. He hasn't had over 17 fantasy points, I don't think.
No, but he has been like consistently there. It's just the problem is he's only had 1 touchdown. So they got to get him more touchdowns. He's leading he's top 5 in receiving yards for running backs. So I mean, he's getting pass catching for sure.
He is.
And guess what? Just want to talk about refs real quick. Falcons were up 20-17. They had a chance to make it 27-17 and pretty much put the game away. They called a screen pass to Bijan. He catches it. They block it perfectly. He scores. Game was supposed to be over, 27-17 essentially. And what do they see? Oh, a hold on Jake Matthews. You look at the replay, there's hardly a hold. There's hardly anything. So Bijan gets a 6. It would have been 1 point for the catch, probably 20-something yards plus a touchdown. So there's fantasy points left.
9 points.
Right, it's left out there on the field. Then you would have been looking at Bijan's week he would have 21 points or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's a big game tomorrow. And then we got another divisional game for the AFC North, Ravens and the Bengals. Seth, who do you think's winning this one?
Oh, man, I hope the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens are already looking good. Just keep the Bengals down.
Yeah. Bengals have no defense. They got no answer for Lamar.
No, they don't, dude. They're going to run all over them.
Yeah, give me the Ravens.
Yeah,
give me the Ravens. Too much offense for the Bengals defense.
Yeah.
Jets and Vikings is a 9:30 a.m. game in London, I believe.
That's insane.
What do we think about that? Now, we know that the Jets just lost 10-9 to the Broncos. Vikings are undefeated.
Yeah, they're winning by 20.
I think the Vikings are going to be pretty nice, the whole season. So I'm going to go Minnesota because the Jets they need something else right now, and maybe that is Devontae Adams.
Oh, that would be insane.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. So another game that's interesting is some of these are not interesting, but one that is, I would say, is Steelers and Cowboys Sunday Night Football. Now,
I'm a little nervous.
First time I think the Steelers and Cowboys have played on Sunday Night Football in Pittsburgh or something.
Yep.
That's a big game. I know DeMarcus Lawrence is out, and I know Michael Parsons is questionable.
Yep, I like the sound of that.
I'm going Steelers.
I like the Steelers here. I hope that all the money's not on us, or else we're fucked.
Probably.
I'm going Steelers. Too much defense. I think just
Brandon Cooks is out. I mean, it's gonna be a tough game. They can't run the ball, dude.
I think they're gonna.
Jonte Jackson's have been a really good corner for us. That was really good.
That was a good trade with Deontay Johnson for Dante Jackson. That was a pretty good trade.
I like that trade a lot.
Yeah.
Y'all do need Roman Wilson.
We do need Roman, dude. Please, dude. He's been healthy the past 2 weeks, and then they change him to out at the last second. I'm like,
They got to get him in there.
I'm like, please get this man in here, dude.
I need him in there.
Coach is just saying he's not even game ready yet.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Cody?
I was about to say I need him in there so it helps George get open because I got Georgie.
I need Georgie to eat.
Backtracking a little bit, I forgot about this 1:00 game Sunday. Bills
and Colts. Or Bills and Texans.
Bills and Texans.
That's gonna be pretty good.
Texans are 3-1. Bills are 3-1. I think I'm going to go Texans. I just feel like they're a complete to me they have a better defense than the Bills. I just don't know, man. I feel weird right now about both these teams. I feel like they're both really good, but they've also been a little bit different in the last week. I feel like the Bills were on a high, but they also weren't really playing anybody. The Dolphins, the Jags, these aren't Arizona Cardinals. They're all 1 or 0 win teams. So Texans to me are a little bit more battle tested. I go to the Texans.
I go Texans. Yeah.
Yeah, I got Texans in a probably a shootout.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I hope so for Josh Allen. Yeah. Dude, I traded for Josh Allen, traded for Etienne. They both gave me 7 points.
Yeah, that's tough.
I had Jordan Love on my bench. Jordan Love on my bench with 28.
I played against Justin in his best game all of his career.
Yeah.
And he had 34.
Yeah. I was also supposed to beat Brett if Amari Cooper's touchdown didn't get called back. And they literally, that was another thing. I can't get into that. The refs, they're just driving me crazy, bro. They're driving me crazy. It's ruining football.
Dude.
Saints Monday night at the Chiefs. Who do we got here? Chiefs are banged up. Saints are 2-2.
I still got the Chiefs.
Saints are banged up too. So I just can't. I can't pick against the Chiefs.
I can't.
At home,
Chiefs, dude.
Just give me Kareem Hunt to have a big game.
Dude,
yeah. I like the Chiefs, man. Give me the Chiefs. I think it could be close at first, but Chiefs kind of pull away at the end.
Yeah, every game for them is the same. They just play everything close. They get down and they come back and they win. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Until they figure out the rest of the offense, they're going to be playing a lot of games like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Now we're going to go to pretender or contender for the NFL. Okay, some of these teams are going to be interesting. First one, are the Steelers pretenders or are they contenders?
You don't even have to ask me, bro.
Well, we know what Seth thinks.
We contended.
All right. Cody?
You're so funny, bro.
Oh, this one's hard. I love the Steelers. I love the Steelers defense.
Our defense is literally the reason why we would be contenders.
Yeah.
That's it.
I just got to see more from that offense, but I still think Justin Fields is he's getting accustomed to it. He looked better. He's looking a little bit better each week.
Yeah.
Give me contenders.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you gonna say, man?
No, they're contenders because of the defense, but the defense played their worst game this past week, and I think that
0 holds.
I know. I think they should be undefeated right now, and I feel like they have a tough schedule at the end of the season, so it'll be interesting. But I think they make the playoffs. Justin Fields gives them a chance, and I do think they need another guy to step up, like Roman Wilson or somebody. But Cordero's running the rock. He's
looking like a tank.
He's looking like the RB1 right now because Najee's struggling at times, but Najee had a good start. Then he kind of faded out, and now I feel like Cordero's showing that he's that guy. So we'll see. Jalen Warren gets healthy. We'll see what happens. But I will say Steelers because of the defense and Fields playing well are contenders.
Yeah.
And that might be a hot take, but we trust the Steelers defense a lot. So
I trust in old Mike Tomlin.
Yep.
Trust in Mikey. Give us that.
They finally think about it. They won 10 games with Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph and all these other guys. I know Big Ben was old. Now you got a quarterback that's dual threat, that's playing his best football. I just don't think the Steelers are going to go away.
They're not. They're not. They're too good. They're too good defensively and offensive start.
They're picking it up.
They're picking it up. They're starting to hit their strides. Yeah.
They're averaging 120 yards rushing a game. It's not bad. So we'll see. Bucks, they're 3-1. Are they contenders or pretenders?
As far as I know, they're contenders.
Yeah, I want to say they're contenders too, dude. I mean, I like what Baker's cooking over there.
Baker is cooking, man, and that offense is just is good.
I think the fact that they moved Chris Godwin back in the slot helps a lot.
Ooh,
I know they lost. I know they lost to the Broncos, but I think that was just Broncos just had a good day, and the Bucs are for real. I don't know how many wins they're going to get, but I think they're going to be in the playoffs, and I hate that for the Falcons. But it's going to be a battle, and I feel like they are going to be contenders because they were last year, and I feel like they added Bucky Irving. They put Chris Godwin back in the slot. The defense is good. Vita Vea's been banged up. I think Antoine Winfield's out tomorrow, so that's interesting. But overall, if they can stay healthy, they're going to be contenders.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I think tomorrow's game, if I might say something, is who's going to win y'all's division? I think it's going to be the Falcons or Bucs.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the next team is the Falcons. Are they pretenders or contenders?
I think y'all are contenders, dude.
I think y'all are contenders.
If y'all can clean up a little bit on offense, I mean that defense just too many names on there to not be a contender.
The Falcons, the Falcons need another pass rusher.
And I mean, if you can keep up with the Eagles and the Chiefs, and I mean, still low key kept up with the Steelers too.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that
was their worst game, and that was week 1.
Yeah.
Kirk didn't run a single play action. No, I think the Falcons are contenders, but it's I just hate saying that because I'm a Falcons fan. I don't want to jinx them, but I just feel like from what I know, just looking at objectively, the defense is so much better, and they keep you in games, and the offense is better than what it's been. So I mean, I think they'll hit their stride here soon, and they have an easier schedule than a lot of teams. So I think they genuinely are probably going to be contenders, but it won't be surprised if they somehow shit down their pants and lose. So but the Vikings next. So we even got to pretend that they're contenders. They're pretenders. They're definitely contenders. The Vikings are contenders. So they've been coached like one of the best teams in the league.
Yep.
Offensively and defensively. Now, Texans, are they contenders or pretenders?
They are. They're contenders, man. They're gonna win the AFC South.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're gonna be in the playoff. They're contenders.
Too many pieces on that offense. The defense is Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. Plus, you got Stingley. They're good. Got a good coach, D'Amico Ryans. I know all these have been contenders so far, but I just didn't think it was going to. I honestly thought y'all were going to push back on some of those and say some of these guys are pretenders. But so far, we got all these as contenders. So far,
I mean, dude, these teams are just too explosive, man.
I have a couple of teams that I feel like we're about to mention that aren't.
100%. This next one, I don't think is.
So yeah, Green Bay Packers, are they pretenders or contenders?
I think they're pretenders. I mean, don't get me wrong. Jordan loves cooking, but I don't know, man. It's scary, especially with him being out. I mean, Malik Willis is cool.
I'm going to say they're pretenders because they're division. I'm going to say the Lions and the Vikings are in there. The Bears are even solid. The Packers are low-key pretenders right now.
I'm going pretenders. I think just the division alone is just tough. You got two better teams in front of you in the Lions and obviously the Vikings. And then you got a not bad team right below you in the Bears. So, I mean, I just think they're pretenders.
Yeah, and it's also they don't really have a guy on offense that they can just run through. It's also just a bunch of people by committee, like Josh Jacobs, and then you got Wicks, Jaden Reed, who's really good, I will say. But it's not like you have and Christian Watson's out all the time. It's just I just don't feel like they have a go-to okay, here's Devontae Adams 20 times a game.
Facts.
So they're pretenders until I see otherwise. But I will say their secondary is interesting with Jair Alexander and Xavier McKinney, who leads the league in interceptions. But they still, to me, don't have a great pass rush. They haven't been able to stop some teams like the Eagles and the Vikings. So I don't know. They're pretenders for now.
Yeah.
Commanders 3-1. Pretenders or contenders?
Dude, they are contenders.
I think Commanders can win that division.
I think they can win that division by a landslide, dude.
I think
Eagles and Cowboys are so much worse than them.
Oh, 100%.
I think Jaden Daniels is just too dynamic. He's got playmakers all over. Brian Robinson is having a year so far.
Dude, that dude.
Terry McLaurin is looking good.
He's starting. Scary Terry's coming out, and he's ready to scare.
I love this Commanders team.
Also, like, I mean, I got to give them credit. Like, they have a weak secondary, but they've been like doing things better than they have in the past. And they held Arizona to 14 on the road.
Yeah.
They put up 42 on the. And I called them winning that game because I was like, Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator, he was the coach of the Cardinals. I thought he was gonna be ready to beat them down, and they did, man. They haven't punted in 2 games, so.
Dude, they are.
That's great. That's how good that offense is. Like, it's really that offense is like, stop us if you can, because you're not. You know.
Yeah. So they're contenders for now. Seahawks, are they pretenders or contenders?
Get them out of here, man. Them boys pretenders.
Their defense looked really bad. So I'm gonna say they're
looked awful. Kenneth Walker was looking like him. 3 tutties.
I do like the new Ryan Grubb, the offensive coordinator. He was the offensive coordinator for Washington and Kalen DeBoer last year and for other years. So I feel like they're getting guys the ball like they should. Like DK, he's having a career year. Kenneth Walker's having a good year. Gino's having a career year. It's just like defensively, they let Jared Goff go 18 for 18.
Yeah.
And couldn't stop him. So
could not stop him.
You don't have a pass rush. You only have Tariq Woolen in the secondary.
The Legion of Boom is no more. We bring the boom. That's what we do.
We bring the boom.
We bring the boom to you.
Yeah. Oh man, David Montgomery brought the boom.
Oh my goodness, did David Montgomery bring the boom to them boys?
Insert clip of David Montgomery trucking somebody.
Dude, that is unreal.
Unbelievable, man. So for now, Seahawks are pretenders. This is just funny to put in. Cowboys are pretenders.
Pretenders, man.
Them poor guys.
They're just not good. They're just not good this year.
Every year is everybody.
They're pretenders every year.
Every year,
they really are. But
this year they're not.
Otherwise,
they've been pretenders since the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not lying.
Yeah, so that's gonna wrap up today's episode. We know we had a lot to go in there, but we had a breakdown. I feel like that Bama game for a minute. So but hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. We probably had some of our best interactions on social media that we've had since we started this.
Yeah.
So we'll keep pumping out good content, hopefully that get you guys enjoy. But this is once again Muffed Sports Show. I'm your host Hayden Haynes. That's Cody Hart and Seth Killen. And I'll see y'all boys next week.
See you next week.
Yeah.
See you next week.